XLM versus HBAR, which enterprise crypto will dominate 2025? The quiet giants moving billions while the crypto world obsesses over meme coins, influencer, drama, and hyper-driven layer 1 wars. A quiet revolution is reshaping the foundation of global finance, and almost no one is paying attention beneath the noise. Two digital assets have emerged as silent juggernauts, building the rails of the new financial system without asking for the spotlight. Stellar XLM and Hedera HBR. These aren't speculative coins chasing viral moments. They're enterprise-grade protocols engineered for scale compliance and utility, from cross-border payments and CBDCs to tokenized assets and carbon credits. XLM and HBR are quietly doing what most projects only promise: integrating with real institutions, solving real problems, and moving real value. Stellar, through the Stellar Development Foundation, has locked in partnerships with MoneyGram Circle and even United Nations programs. It's powering on and off ramps in regions where traditional banking is broken. Meanwhile, Hedera is the backbone for major corporations like Google, IBM, Dell, and Standard Bank, anchoring decentralized applications in supply chain identity and ESG markets. And the kicker, they're moving billions, but because their approach is quiet, regulatory compliant, and deeply enterprise focused, they don't show up on the trending page, they don't dominate Reddit threads, and they're not meme worthy. That's intentional, because when you're laying the digital plumbing of the next generation economy, you don't need hype, you need resilience, security, throughput, and adoption from institutions who care about long-term utility, not short-term volatility. This is the story most retail investors are missing, while everyone else is distracted by hype cycles. The smart money, the ones reading governance reports, analyzing enterprise blockchain pilots, and tracking transaction volume, are quietly stacking HB and XLM, not for a pump, but for the flip when the foundational protocols finally reprick, based on the real infrastructure they've built. What makes Stellar XLM special? Stellar isn't chasing headlines, it's solving real problems. And that's exactly why so many people miss it. XLM isn't built for speculation, it's built for speed, compliance, and scalability in one of the most broken systems on the planet. Global money movement cross-border payments today are still slow, expensive, and outdated. Stellar fixes that, not in theory, but in production. MoneyGram's global network is already live on Stellar, allowing people to cash out USDC to physical fiat in over 180 countries. This isn't vaporware, this is boots on the ground. Adoption, the network has evolved beyond payments too. With the introduction of Sorbonne Stellar's new smart contract platform, developers can now build programmable finance apps, compliant DeFi tools, and tokenized asset frameworks, all while maintaining the security and trust Stellar's known for. And then there's the regulatory edge. Stellar has been working hand in hand with Indonesia's central banks and development organizations for years. The World Bank, the UNHCR, the IMF. These are names tied to real-world pilots using Stellar Rails for things like aid disbursement and identity-linked wallets. This isn't a crypto that's hoping for adoption someday. It's a protocol being chosen today by institutions that matter. It's not flashy, it's not noisy. And that's the point. Because the biggest shifts in finance don't start with hype, they start with infrastructure. And Stellar is quietly becoming the foundation for digital money at scale. Why Hedera HBR is the corporate favorite. Hedera isn't playing the same game as the rest of crypto because it's not built like the rest of crypto. While most projects fight over L1 dominance using copy-paste blockchains and layer 2 band-aids, Hedera quietly opted for something fundamentally different. It directed a cyclic, graph-based consensus model called Hashgraph. It's not just a marketing gimmick, it's the core of why Hedera is faster, fairer, and more scalable than traditional blockchain systems. Transactions on Hedera settle in seconds with finality fees, are fractions of a cent. And the network isn't just fast, it's enterprise grade. That's why companies like Google, IBM, Dell, Boeing, LG, Standard Bank, and even the London School of Economics are sitting on the Hedera Governing Council. These aren't just partnerships in name. They help run the network itself, because here's the truth. Real corporations don't want to build on hype-driven, unstable chains run by anonymous validators and DAOs that vote on memes. They want speed, stability, predictability, and governance they can trust. Hedera delivers that it's already being used in tokenized carbon credits, supply chain logistics, micro payments, digital identity systems, ESG tracking, and even central bank experiments. While other networks dream of adoption, Hedera is shipping it, and then there's the tokenomics bar's fixed max supply with no inflation, and a long-term scheduled release plan makes it uniquely positioned as a deflationary asset once demand kicks in. No random emissions, no governance surprises, just controlled, institutional-grade economic design, while retail speculates on whatever's trending. This week, enterprise developers are quietly building on Hedera, knowing the infrastructure is robust enough to scale with them, and that's why HBAR doesn't need hype to win, it just needs time. XLM versus HBAR tech showdown. This isn't your typical which one pumps harder comparison. This is a breakdown of two fundamentally different technologies designed to serve very different segments of the digital economy. Stellar XLM runs on a traditional blockchain architecture, fast, efficient, and optimized for one job, moving money across borders. This protocol is built for simplicity. No wasteful computation, no congestion from NFTTS or memo coin trading, just fast, low-cost transactions with finality in 5 seconds. And it's been battle tested since 2014, not in a test net, not in a dev sandbox, but in real-world financial corridors, with real institutions moving real money on the other side. Is Hedera HBAR, which isn't even a blockchain. It's a DAG-based network powered by the Hashgraph consensus algorithm, a technology that doesn't rely on miners or validators fighting to append the next block. Instead, it uses gossip about gossip and virtual voting to reach consensus in a way that's mathematically fair. Absurdly fast and resistant to manipulation. Finality comes in seconds. Throughput exceeds 10,000 transactions per second. And that's not theoretical. XLM shines in simplicity, fiat on off-ramps, and NGO-friendly infrastructure. HBAR shines in throughput, fairness, and enterprise-grade governance. It's the difference between a network optimized for global payments and a network designed to serve as the back end of the digital economy. And when it comes to smart contracts, both have made major upgrades. Stellar Sorbonne introduces smart contract capabilities in a way that's WASM and native gas efficient and optimized for financial utility, not over-engineered DeFi experiments. Hedera offers both the smart contract service and the Hedera token service, enabling rapid tokenization of real-world assets and digital value, with native compliance hooks, all without the headaches of managing contract bloat or unaudited third-party code. And here's where things get interesting. Stellar is already live in remittance markets, payment rails, and cross-border aid distribution. Think USDC on Stellar moving between countries, faster than Swift can blink. Hedera is already embedded in corporate infrastructure, ESG tracking tools, supply chain, data integrity, digital identity frameworks, carbon markets, and even enterprise loyalty platforms. You're not comparing two hype projects. You're comparing two production-grade networks that have chosen completely different architectures to solve entirely different classes of problems, and both are winning in their own lane. The real question isn't which is better. The question is, why aren't you looking at both real-world adoption and use cases? This is where the noise dies and the facts speak. Forget price charts, forget influencers shilling the next pump and dump. The only metric that truly matters: long-term real-world adoption, and that's where both Stellar and Hedera quietly dominate. Let's start with Stellar. This isn't a project chasing speculative DeFi or meme coins. Stellar has one mission: build financial infrastructure for the unbanked and underbanked, and it's doing exactly that. In Ukraine, Stellar has been the backbone of digital aid distribution, enabling displaced citizens to receive and spend emergency funds instantly, transparently, and securely. In Africa, Stellar anchors are powering mobile wallets, connecting regional currencies, and enabling cross-border money flows without needing a traditional bank account. And with MoneyGram's global cash-out integration, Stellar now enables people in over 180 countries to seamlessly move between digital assets and local currency without needing an exchange. And it's not just remittances. USDC on Stellar is being used in everything from humanitarian relief to fintech Rails for emerging markets. Smart contracts via Sorbonne are opening the door for programmable finance cross-chain bridges and next-gen fintech apps all on a network that's already compliant, fast, and live. Now let's talk Hedera. Hedera isn't out here trying to be the next Ethereum. It's not trying to be the chain with the most tokens. It's solving problems that massive institutions actually care about. The sustainability industry, HBAR, is already tracking carbon credits, enabling fully auditable, tamper-proof ESG markets that governments and corporations can trust. Pharmaceutical logistics. Hedera is securing supply chain data, ensuring drug traceability from lab to pharmacy, reducing counterfeit risk and saving lives. Digital identity and credentials. Hedera is at the center of decentralized ID platforms being deployed across governments and enterprises, powering next-gen login and verification systems. Even corporate loyalty points and digital coupons are being issued and managed using Hedera's token service with real volume and real customers. And here's the part most people miss. These integrations are happening quietly. No hype, no viral campaigns, no to the moon promises, just steady, deliberate infrastructure being embedded directly into the systems that run governments, banks, and multinational corporations. Stellar is partnering with public institutions. HEDA is partnering with Fortune hundreds. Together, they represent something bigger than crypto speculation. They are the foundational rails for the next generation digital economy. Financial aid on Stellar, tokenized carbon markets on Hedera. Mobile money in Africa via Stellar anchors supply chain integrity. For pharma on Hedera, fiat on off-ramps with Stellar Plus, MoneyGram, digital credentials, and IDs verified on Hedera. You're not early to a trend. You're witnessing the quiet roll out of financial infrastructure 2.0, and most people don't even know it's happening, but the institutions do, and they're already integrating price and market potential. Let's address what everyone wants to know. The price, yes. Both HBAR and XLM have seen long stretches of sideways movement. And to the impatient, that's a red flag, but to the smart money, that's an opportunity. Because while retail is waiting for the next meme explosion, the quiet whales have been accumulating wallets with 1 million plus XLM growing large, HBAR wallets steadily increasing. This isn't noise, this is positioning. Look deeper at the on-chain metrics, you'll see something remarkable. The vast majority of recent transactions on both networks are utility-driven stablecoin flows. Tokenized assets, enterprise interactions. This isn't speculation. This is groundwork being laid for a new financial backbone. Now ask yourself this. When regulation slams the door on hyper-driven coins and rug pull projects, who survives when central banks, fintechs, and global conglomerates need a compliant, secure and fast network to build on which protocols get the call? It's not going to be meme tokens, it's going to be XLM and HBAR. These two aren't fighting for attention, they're earning trust, and here's what makes them so dangerous, not just to competitors, but to the current financial status quo they've been building in the shadows, preparing for a world that values real-world utility over YouTube hype. So when the next bull run starts, and this time it's utility-old, it won't be the loudest coins that lead, it'll be the ones that actually work. And both Stellar and Hedera, they're already live, already scaling, and already integrated into enterprise and institutional finance. You don't buy into HB or XLM to ride a meme wave. You buy in because you see the chessboard, and these two have already moved 3 steps ahead. The smart money is already here. At this point, the writing's on the wall. The smart money isn't chasing TikTok coins or watching influencer live streams. It's deep in the infrastructure trenches with XLM and HBAR, because here's the truth. The future of money will not be run on volatility. It'll be run on trust, efficiency, and scalability. And that's why banks, fintechs, corporations, and even the central banks are quietly partnering with protocols like Stellar and Hedera. They're not guessing which coin goes 10 times. They're choosing rails that can move trillions securely, instantly, and compliantly. Think about it. XLM isn't just a token, it's a global remittance engine, a stablecoin network, a CBDC testbed, and an A distribution channel already proven in the real world. HBAR isn't just a project, it's an enterprise-grade DT backed by the likes of Google, IBM, and Boeing securing supply chains, identities, and carbon markets. And if you're still thinking it's too early or that these aren't exciting enough, here's your wake-up call. You're not early anymore, but you're also not too late. You're at the turning point where quiet accumulation turns into sudden revaluation, and when that flip switches, it won't be announced, no bells, no tweets, just a chart moving, while the mainstream asks, what just happened? So if you're watching this, you already see the pattern follow adoption, not hype, because in the next phase of crypto, the loudest voices won't win. The most useful protocols will, and HBAR and XLM are already doing what 95% of the market is still promising. Subscribe to Be Crypto Smart, where we show you what they're not telling you.